All right, the secret to throwing fast combinations like Pacquiao, Lomachenko, Gary Russell Jr. Okay, these guys, when they throw these really fast combinations, they're not, you can't turn your hip that fast with every punch like that. You just can't. You can only shift your weight so fast. Your hands are a lot faster than your legs and hips are going to be. Okay, so what they end up doing is, what they're doing, especially like you watch some Pacquiao, he shifts his weight, turns his hip, and gets a barrage of punches from that power of that one hip turn. So think of it like starting a lawnmower. You pull that string, and those motors or whatever start spinning like that. So this is what you're going to be doing. You turn your hip, and instead of, you got your 1, 2, throwing, ba, ba, turn my hip, but I go, ba, ba, and I use that power, I distribute it into a bunch of lighter, faster punches instead of one big, ba. You can end it with a ba, 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 ba. Add a little extra hip snap to get out of there at the end, the last punch, but that's what they're doing. These little uppercuts, those shoe shiners and stuff you see people doing for practice, you rarely see people do that in a fight, but it's a good coordination exercise. What they end up doing is, ba, 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 ba. You turn your hip, you get a barrage, as many as you want. You can stay here in this position, and it's almost like running in place. And then you end it with a big punch and roll out. Ba, 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 ba. So will you do that in a fight? Probably not, but it's coordination, okay? So the same thing with your straight punches. Turn your hip, boom, 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 boom. You end with a big one, you get out of there. Okay, another thing you gotta do, put the gloves on so you can see this better. You gotta get your hands out of the way. If you're throwing, you don't punch like that. Nobody's head's horizontal like that. But you hold your hands in a way that they're not blocking each other. You watch, you can see some guys, James Toney and Mayweather, every now and then you'll see a video of them shadow boxing in front of the camera, and they're rolling their punches like this. I like to do it kind of like that. I angle my hands slightly with my head. They're kind of always angled with my head so that they're not in the way of each other when I punch. And you can throw these little barrages like that, okay? Another thing you might notice is this is why the speed bag is so important, because this is what teaches you how to turn your hip and get multiple punches out of that one motion, okay? So, all right, I'll do some demonstrations now. I'll do it shadow boxing, and then I'll do like the little fake speed bag so you can see what I'm talking about. Turn. So you can stay there basically as long as you want. Probably wouldn't do that in a fight, shorter combinations, 2 or 3s, some kind of movement. You know, you can chain them together, but that's basically where those fast combinations are coming from. Okay, so the speed bag is really important. This is, you know, people don't seem to be using the speed bag as much anymore, or they don't think there's a use to it, but there's a lot more to it. It's you know, it's 80% mental, and there's a TED Talk by this guy Paul McCarthy. He's talking about Kali, Filipino martial arts, and how there's a lot of crossing that center line with your hands. You know, that kind of stuff. It really enhances your brain activity. You think about it, you're firing left, right, and you're crossing the center line, your brain's going left, right, and it syncs your brain hemispheres. It puts you in the zone, you know, which is why, you know, you use the speed bag for a warm-up. You know, you just pop, 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 pop for 10 minutes straight, and you get yourself in the zone. You warm up your body, you warm up your mind, okay? You watch Mayweather hitting the bag or hitting the speed bag, and he's talking to himself the whole time. You know, he's firing both sides of his brain. You know, he hits the bag just left, right. And the whole time he's talking to himself. He's never gonna beat me. I'm the best. He's never gonna beat me. You know, he's like hypnotizing himself. And a lot of other fighters do that. I've seen fighters do that in the gym. You know, and that's when it clicked. I was like, oh my God. When I realized what he was doing, this guy was shadowboxing, talking to himself the whole time, okay? So the speed bag, you don't got a speed bag, set up a pool noodle. I got a video, I'll put the link in the description. You know, this thing it's cheap, it's quiet, gets a lot of the same benefits of the speed bag, and it's, you know, in some ways it's harder to hit than the speed bag because it's really light. You gotta have a lot of snap on your punches. But the way the speed bag gets you fast is because there's all this elbow snap that you don't really use when you're taught to punch. You know, you're taught to punch like a piston and shoot it out like that. But this really works those fast twitch muscles in your arm, the speed bag, because you got to get your hand back. That's what another reason people hit a plateau with their speed. You got to work those muscles, those fast twitch muscles, getting the hand back. If you're too slow on the speed bag, you hit it and it doesn't make the sound that you want, okay? Same kind of thing with this. You got to get your hands back. So I like to practice hitting it, get my hands back in position. But you'll see what I mean. I'm gonna do a little demonstration. You'll see, you can't really see my legs and everything, but I'm turning my hip, getting those multiple little punches, and then going back, getting out of the, you know, doing some kind of defensive movement afterwards. So check it out. So this is just like traditional kind of speed bag work. Mayweather and Pacquiao, they'll just hit it constantly like this for like half hour straight, right? It's a good warm up. Then eventually you can start switching it up, be more realistic with it. Okay. Okay, so notice when I turn my hip, I get as many punches as I want. made sense, you know, connecting, you know, what I was talking about earlier about turning your hip like a lawnmower, starting a lawnmower. You got one big powerful motion, but you split the power up into multiple continuous, you know, they're not going to be hard punches, but you got the structure behind you. That's what gives them power, right? So a lot of this stuff is balance and coordination, but you also have to have good structure. You got to have your bones lined up so you're not using a lot of muscle movement, right? When you start learning how to punch like this, you can throw faster, harder punches, faster combos, and you're going to use a lot less muscle. You'll be using the structure of your body. You'll be using your bones to handle this force, and you end up not getting as tired as fast. Okay, so try it out and you know, learn how to hit the speed bag. So once you turn your shoulder into the shot, once you shift your weight, you've turned into the shot. Once you're in this position, you know, you can throw multiple shots. You've got the structure behind you. Your alignment, your bone structure is strong and aligned with the punch. So you can throw multiple little quick shots after you turn that once. You can only turn your hip, you know, you can only shift your weight so fast, but your hands are a lot faster than your hips and your ability to shift your weight. But once you shift it, you have those quick rapid fire shots, and they can be hard. You know, you just put a little bit of a flick into them. And I'll show you what I mean on the bob here. So I'm going to turn, throw one hard shot, and then I can keep shifting this just slight little weight shift, but I got the structure to throw more quick hard shots. Okay, so you know, you can do that with the jab. You jab low to the body, you can stay down there, maybe throw two. Okay, maybe stay low, throw one up. But you're using that same kind of, you're in the position, you got the structure lined up. It's almost just a little like shoulder snap, almost like an arm punch. But you have the structure behind it, which is what gives it power, okay? All right, one last thing, resistance bands. So I was talking earlier about getting those pull back muscles. You gotta work those as well. You know, everybody works the push out. You gotta strengthen the pull back quickness. Resistance bands, you can use that to do this, okay? So I will probably gonna get an Amazon affiliate, and I'll put a link in the description, you know, help out the channel. But just any kind of resistance bands, and I'll show you some exercises you can do to work with those twisting and pulling back muscles. So check it out. Okay, that was the shortened version. You know, you probably want to do 2 sets, 20 of each exercise, but you got the working your straights, pull back, and your hooks, both right and left. Okay, so if you like the video, you know, like, share, subscribe, and got something, questions, something else you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. All right, peace.